Hello, my name is Hannah Femme, and this is my response to the creative critical reflection of my film noir title sequence. In my title sequence for the final Femme Fatale, the use of tracking shots, color, sound, and titles were all used in order to challenge the common man. In almost all shots, you see the main character, in which I played, who is the center of attention. Whether my character is walking or standing, she stands out against everyone else. As previously stated in my blog post, the genre of my title sequence is the neo-noir, which is a newer version of film noir, which was popular in the 1940s and 1950s. The idea for my film was based on a modern twist, based on a hit woman rather than a hit man who is hired to kill older men that are rude and awful to their wives. In turn, the older women got all the money and didn't have to do it themselves. We used a woman as our main character in order to challenge the social groups and issues related in society today and also films. She plays a strong female role in which nothing can stop her, and throughout the entire film, she is portrayed as an unstoppable woman. While researching major production companies, Warner Brothers, Paramount, DreamWorks, Sony, and so many others pop up. But we wanted to find a production company that would be more willing to take on an avant-garde type of film. The production company that I found is Summit Entertainment. Summit Entertainment has provided many films that are more out there compared to others. Some examples of these movies are the Twilight series, American Pie, Letters to Juliet, John Wick, La La Land, and the Divergent series. The target audience for my film is mostly women. Women empowerment is very important to today's society, and knowing that the main character of our film is a woman, I think many women would be interested in figuring out what she does and how she does it. At the beginning of this class, I became very worried because I had no idea what it took to create a film and become a filmmaker. As my group started coming up with really great ideas for a title sequence, I began to get really excited and think of many ways as to how we could approach this and how we could make it the best that it could be. At the beginning of the school year, everyone researched a genre and we all got put into groups. Our group had film noir, which we got really excited about and were able to find a really cool topic. Ever since then, my group was very interested in making a film based on neo-noir and film noir. When we started planning, we knew that our main character would be a female. So, me being the smallest and petite and brunette, we decided that I was going to be the main actress, and the only actress at that. Once we started storyboarding, we figured out that we wanted our main character to be walking through a small town in order to create the feeling that she had been followed. At this point, we knew that she would be changing outfits, so we decided to put her in a car and have her change the outfit. The woman is first seen in a seductive outfit. For me, I had a black skinny skirt on, a blouse, and heels walking through Dade City, but keeping my identity hidden throughout the film. Then, once I got into the car, I changed into a sundress and sandals and a big hat that still was covering my identity. While walking through town, I decided to go into an alley and act like I wasn't being followed, even though I knew I was. We thought it would be great to show tracking shots from a car and also tracking shots from me running to portray that someone was following her. Our actress walks into an alley, takes off her hat, takes off her sunglasses, and reveals her identity. At this point, the stalker knows that she knew she was being followed. And at this point, she punches him in the face and the screen goes black. We had to film in 2 different days because we didn't know that we would run out of time or didn't know we would have enough footage. After looking at the footage from the first day, we knew we wanted a couple more different shots. Megan and Santana had the job of editing. Over spring break, they decided to sit down and crack it all out at one time. They put different videos together in order to create the feeling that The woman did not know that she was being stalked, but what is assumed at the end is that she knew the whole time. My part was working on sound, and let's just say that the iPhone does not have a top-notch microphone. I talked to another girl in my class, and she said that she plugged in her headphones into her phone and used the microphone on the headphones to talk into it and record her sound, but she was recording voice. For me, I have to record sounds that are outside. My sounds to record are heels on concrete, a car door opening and shutting, the sound of cars passing by, and a punch. At this point, I knew that I had to record my sound with headphones, which will cut out any wind sounds. To record the sound for a car door shutting and closing, all I did was hold the microphone in that general direction, and it was successful. So I thought things were looking up from there. It took a bit of time to figure out how to record the punch sound for the end. I tried using multiple techniques that I saw in videos and research over the past couple of days. I tried punching my own leg, which kind of hurt, punching a pillow, hitting the couch with a baseball bat, hitting a pillow with a baseball bat, using a big metal spoon to hit a pillow, punching a gigantic ball of dough at work, and you know the rest. So now that you get the gist of what I was trying to do, nothing was working. The sound didn't seem deep enough. So at my work, we have big 50-pound bags of flour. I finally got the right sound by hitting it with a baseball glove, and it worked the best. Now on to the next painstaking process, the heels. I thought that using the heels I wore in the video would be a great idea because it would create a more realistic sound, which was very wrong, by the way. They sounded like horse hooves, and it was awful. I tried hanging the headphone cord and everything, but it just didn't work. Well, you know that saying about how duct tape can fix everything? That was my bright idea. So I duct taped the microphone to my leg, recorded it just like that, and guess what? It worked. Who knew that duct tape could solve all problems? I'm very glad that our group decided to use iMovie. It's a lot quicker process, and all of us were very familiar with it already. So for inserting sound, iMovie was fairly easy to navigate. The hardest thing I had to do was change the volume levels of the music and sounds. Some of the sounds seemed to be louder than others, so I had to play with the pitch for a little. Once I inserted the sound into the correct spots, trimmed and clipped only what I needed of the sound clips, and timed them perfectly, I was able to go in and play with the sound levels. When I first got the video, the song was inserted by my editors, and it was way too loud. So the first thing I did was pull that video sound way down. My instructor told me at the beginning of the year that the key thing to perfect sound is that when you are watching a video or film, you aren't having to change the volume up and down in order to hear the sound the best. So I tried to keep this in mind when editing. It took some time, but when I shifted everything, I also let my parents, boyfriend, and my instructor and asked them for their opinions too. One thing that I thought would be very important was having the punch at the end be significantly louder than everything else, but that was wrong. After hearing many opinions, I quickly learned that since the sound was low enough, the punch was so distinct that it didn't need to be really loud. Overall, this process was pretty long, but I learned so much from it. Doing sound taught me how much equipment is important and how your sound levels have to do so much with what your viewers feel. I'm not a very techie person, but I quickly got used to using Blogger and also iMovie. Our group was already familiar with iMovie, but I learned much more when introduced to this project. I learned how to change the levels of sound, fix titles, insert titles, and that kind of thing. After I figured out how to record my sound and insert it, Megan needed to fix the titles because there was a glitch that I found and it was hard to see the titles against the lighter footage. In order to transfer videos, we used a handy little flash drive. This way, we could transfer the iMovie to each other's laptop and be able to edit it. Well, once we transferred it to mine, I was easily able to edit it. Then we went to transfer it from my laptop back to hers, and she was running a different iMovie than I was, so it didn't move right. Now it's crunch time, and instead of stressing and freaking out, I decided to take on the titles for myself. I redid the titles so that they were in the correct order and changed the starring title because it had a glitch in it. After that, it still didn't look right. The lettering looked thin because of the font we chose, and you could barely see the titles, so I thought we could bold them and outline them in black. and we could see them so much better. My instructor and I backed up the video on this hard drive just in case my computer decided to crash. It took about an hour to upload because it was 2 gigabytes to the high resolution of the imaging. After that, I felt like I could finally breathe. It was on YouTube and nothing was stopping us now. This experience was definitely very important to me. I know how hard it is now to be a filmmaker and how stressful it can be. So it is very different to see how a movie is created versus how just a title sequence is created. I can only imagine the stress involved and behind an actual entire movie. I also learned how hard it is and how hard it can be working with other people. I know that many people will say that you work with someone every day that you may not like or you may not get along with, but in the end you still have to get something done. And that was really hard for me to learn, but I finally understood that. We came together and made a great title sequence, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. Thank you.